What is up, Buff Nation? Jake, RK, Uncle Neely here.
We move spots and you can't start us off with a Buff Nation. Let's go.
We're not live. I thought.
Is that only when we're live?
I mean.
I'm learning new things every minute here.
So am I, apparently.
just give it to him.
Buff Nation.
Oh, that's the best one you ever had. Let's go. Yeah. Come on.
Just give it to him, man.
Come on, man. We just watched football on a Saturday. You got to give me some energy.
The sun drained me, brother. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was not cold.
No, it was not cold. The sun was out. It was a Saturday morning. Good way to get ready for TCU in 2 weeks.
Yeah. You know, the weather wasn't perfect, but the last thing I'm going to do ever is complain about being at Folsom Field on a Saturday.
Yeah.
With not a cloud in the sky.
With not
it was a beautiful day.
Perfect day. My favorite place in the world, legitimately. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. So I said it off air, but I'll say it again, man. Thank you, Neely, for helping make this happen.
Oh, no, man. Thanks to Coach Prime. He has recognized, what we do as a partnership between the pregame show and DNVR Buffs Live. And he said to you guys, hey, I want you to come to practice. Come watch us. See what happens inside. And that happened today. You guys took him up on his invitation, and you were here to close scrimmage.
And we couldn't be more appreciative of Coach Prime for allowing us that opportunity and honestly for the trust that, he had to have in us to let us come behind the tape and see what's really up.
But now I get to ask you guys,
all right,
what did you think of practice? Who do you think won? And all the stuff that you lay on me 4 or 5 days a week. Now I get to sit back and ask you and listen to your takes.
All right, fire away.
What do you want first?
Just general takeaways off the Coach Prime invitation to attend. Just, we'll start there.
It was incredible. I felt like a what do they call those? Chickling? What do you call a baby chicken? A chick?
A chickling. I don't think it's called a chickling.
It's not a chickling.
A chick.
I felt like a baby chick following you around all day. Just wherever Neely's going, I'm going to go.
And I got to admit.
Not make eye contact with anyone.
I got to admit, I was totally aware that you guys were with me, but there were times I would forget that you didn't know to just keep coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do it every day, so like breakfast. Right. I didn't know you weren't behind me until I sat down on my plate. And I was like, what, white guys don't eat breakfast? Like, is this something I got to learn about Colorado? It's not, you don't eat breakfast? You're like, no, I didn't know we were supposed to go. It's like, yeah, just eat.
Well, I don't know, my manners kicked in. Like, you don't walk to your friend's house and open the fridge without asking his mom, hey, is there any, snacks that I can have? So for me, I was like, I'm not doing anything until I'm asked or told to do it.
Gotcha.
And
that's the best way to be in a Coach Prime atmosphere.
Yes. So even when we got out to the field, you kind of just walked out there and started, and I was like, just hang over here, see what happens.
You would have been fine. That was pre-practice.
Yep.
It's pre-practice. But once the show starts, you saw how he is when the show starts.
Yeah, so I'll take you guys behind the scenes of how Jake and I probably got pretty lucky.
Yes.
Again, we didn't know what to do.
Yep.
So we're just standing on the sidelines, taking things in, just enjoying, the atmosphere and the vibes. And I don't know, after a while, one of the girls who, is part of the staff comes over to us and she says, hey, just so you guys know, once everything starts, I just need you guys to get up in the stand, so you might as well just go now. We're like, okay. I go over to Neil. I'm like, hey, she said we should go up. He's like, cool. We go up. By the time our butts are in our seats, Coach Prime zooms over to the sideline on his golf cart and says, hey, if they haven't been on our sideline every single day, I don't want to see anyone on our sideline. And I was like, whoo.
That he did. And the first thing I did was to look to see where y'all were. And I looked at where I left you, and I was like, oh, man, they're gone. And I said, oh, no, they're safe.
We figured it out.
Yeah.
So shout out to her for
saving
us from being the subject of that shouting.
Yeah, I tell people, matter of fact, one of Coach Prime's security detail stopped me and said, he said, Neely, I think people are getting a glimpse of how he is on game day.
Yeah.
And I said, and it's just a glimpse.
Yep.
It's just a glimpse. But he is in a different mode the closer you get to kickoff. And the same thing with game day when it kicks off. And with this being a scrimmage, even though it's a practice, it was a scrimmage. He was trying to create a game day environment on the sideline, et cetera, et cetera. So people got to see how business-minded he is when business is at hand.
Yep,
For sure.
And he absolutely is trying to create a game day atmosphere, all the way down to him not having his scooter, which I assume he's not going to be able to have on game days. So, really kind of a dress rehearsal for everyone. But he's got a different look in his eyes, when it gets to even just a dress rehearsal game day.
And isn't it amazing you can see that look through the shades, even though you can't see his eyes? Like you can read his body language that he is locked in.
Yep.
Don't talk to him right now.
Well, even, when we walked into the breakfast area in the morning, like, he didn't have his sunglasses on in there.
Yeah.
We made eye contact, just
Oh, yes, quick nod. I'm
like,
acknowledging that the people I invited to come are here.
Yeah.
But we're not going to small talk and chit-chat because it's game day.
Yeah, exactly. And, one other guy that, while we're just speaking of game day, I'll just jump right into, if I was giving a player of the day, he's used to this honor, Dylan Edwards.
Yep.
And it was from the second that he walked on the field, not that this is a bad thing from anyone. Or some of the guys were saying what up to us, whatever. Dylan just laser focused right by us. I don't even think he knew we were there.
Yeah.
And almost, which this is crazy, and it's a credit to the guy who caught him, almost had a 98-yard touchdown run.
Yep.
But Roderick Ward going and getting him at the 8-yard line, and everyone on the sidelines' mind was blown because they said, "Oh my God, he finally got caught." So
from behind.
Yeah, shout out to
because it doesn't happen.
Shout out to Rod Ward for going and getting him.
So I gotta do an I told you so here. For 3 days, you guys, you applauded it, you accepted it, but there's a little raised eyebrow. For 3 days in a row, I went with Dylan Edwards for offensive player today. You got to see him today.
Oh yeah,
He's electric.
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway, usually on post-game shows, I always say, what's your biggest takeaway? If we were doing that today, my biggest takeaway is I think Dylan Edwards is a top 5 player on this team.
You could probably bump that to 3.
And that's what I said to Jake in the stands.
You probably bumped that to 3.
Today it was 3.
Yeah.
Today it was for sure top 3. We know who 1 and 2 are. He's that guy. He is that special. And, Neely and I have kind of gone back and forth about how you use him, and is he a quote-unquote starting running back? And I don't even care.
You just got to get him on the field.
Exactly.
Yes.
His position to me is get him the fucking ball.
Yeah. You got to get him on the
position.
field, man. Absolutely. You have to get him on the field. You have to get him the ball. And once you get him the ball a couple of times, I don't even know if you have to give it back to him because the defense is going to shift and react so much to him that it's going to free up other things for you. Just his presence after they get a taste of it is like, okay, find number 3.
Yep.
Like find him, key on him, forget everybody else. And it's going to open up the offense in so many other ways.
Yep.
He basically had a kick return touchdown, too.
Yep.
He caught another one down near the goal line. He caught, I think, a few balls today and was even splitting out wide and stuff. I mean, he's what every coach and every player's really told us. He's just a versatile weapon all around for this offense.
Yes, and I mean, if I'm telling Buffs fans who they should be excited to see, like we just said, it's Travis, it's Shador. 3 is Dylan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
Cosign.
a true freshman. He was in high school a few months ago.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. Xavier Weaver also had a good day. He caught 2 touchdowns, both called back, though.
Yeah, and that there's 2 sides of that. That they were also the 2 best throws of the day from Shador, I thought. A beautiful, beautiful fade ball about 30, 40 yards.
I say, yeah.
To the back right corner of the south end zone here in Folsom. And
Thank you for that.
oh yeah.
No, I totally forget what north, south, east, and west is when I'm here. But
West
y'all
is
always remind me
always
west
towards
is
the
the mountains.
mountains.
So I got it. That is the south end zone pylon. I got it.
Yes, and I guess we should have painted the picture. We are looking over Folsom right now. We would love for you guys to be looking over Folsom instead of us, but the lights were really bright behind us, so you would have just seen like dark shadows. It would have looked like we were like in one of those documentaries, like where we're talking about like a kingpin of like some sort of cartel.
Got to protect our identity.
Shadow on the face.
Change the voice.
But anyways, beautiful throw from Shador. Probably the best throw of the day. Zay went up and got it. Perfect all around, except holding. Holding calls it back. And that was a bit of the story of the day for the offense is a couple, big plays, a couple times shooting themselves in the foot.
Couldn't build momentum.
And the other one that Zay had was another great job by Shador to just say, okay, he's kind of walking that back line of the end zone. he's getting kind of face guarded by his defender. Let me just put it up high. He'll go pick it up and get me another touchdown. And it would have been. I actually don't remember what the flag was on that one.
I can't remember. It was a perfect throw, though. I mean, Shador's ball placement is unbelievable. Go ahead.
His what now?
Talking about throwing footballs here.
Okay. Just take it easy. I don't know about his ball placement. If you flip it, the defense had the same thing happen to them. Was controlling the offense, about to kill their drive, get the ball back, if you will, in the scrimmage, jump off sides. Yeah. Probably had 3 of those today.
3, yeah.
Had some substitution errors on the defense. So penalty-wise, I think both units have a lot to clean up in the next 2 weeks. You noticed it more on the offense because it took a score off the board, but on the defense, it sustained drives that led to a score. So either way, you can't have that when we start playing real ball.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked a little bit with Coach Lewis just in the elevator on the way up here, and he said, that's an opportunity to learn from. We got out here in the heat, everyone got a little more tired than normal, and that's when these things pop up. So 2 weeks to game day, it's close. But it's not so close that there's not time to fix these sort of things.
Yeah, you got plenty of time to fix it. And you got to look at also who's out there when some of these things are happening. You look at some of the jumping off sides where that's when it was the 1s versus the 2s on defense, and that guy might not be there when that player is actually called. So, today was a practice. It was a scrimmage. Could have been better, should have been better, will be better. Because we got 2 weeks. But I would have loved to have seen a better performance from offense and defense. I think the only thing that clicked today that is game season ready was special teams. I think our field goal distance, punt placement, extra points, it couldn't have gone any better.
Got to give a shout out to Jace Feely.
Yes.
Back-to-back 58-yard bombs. Each of them probably good from 68. I mean, that's hitting the middle of the net, and we got to see his dad afterwards, and I told him it makes a different sound when Jace kicks the ball.
It really does, though, and the ball just keeps carrying, which is unbelievable. Like no other kicker here, on this roster. I mean, Mata, I think, hit most of his. It was just the distance again, and it's just that situational kicking that we talked about. It's exactly what we saw on the field today.
Yeah. I think Mata made a 53 during pre-scrimmage, missed a 58, and Feely made back-to-back 58s.
Yeah. 58 in college is rare.
Yes.
And like I said,
it was easily 62, 63.
Yes.
Like it was there.
Yes. And
the middle.
Absolutely.
It wasn't like it was about to hit an upright.
Right.
Or hit the crossbar. Like it was through there.
And Coach Prime said it last week. He almost hit a 65-yarder. I mean, I think he has like 63 in him.
I agree.
If the game's on the line, it's tie game, there's 1 second left, and, don't tell Alabama fans this, but for lack of a better term, you have nothing to lose. I think you can let Jace Feely try a 63-yarder and actually believe he can make it.
For sure.
Totally agree, with the only caveat being Charles Kelly's defense having played well enough in that game situation that you can risk the other team getting the ball right there if I miss.
And that's why I said with 1 second left, so it's like the last play of the game. But, I mean.
But it's one of those things, like if you got a guy with that kind of leg and you got above-average defense, like you can take that risk. Because, 1, I know he can do it. I've seen him do it. And then, 2, if he should miss it, our defense is playing well enough that we can give those guys a short field. You mix those 2 things, man, that just changes the way you get to call a game.
Yep. All right, Neely, what other questions do you have for us?
Yeah.
Got to get your defensive player today.
I'm going with Taj Alston.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
He was playing all units on defense. He was out there a ton today. He got a sack, but he was just getting penetration. Am I allowed to say that?
On that.
Am I allowed to say that?
No, you self-governed, so go right ahead.
All right. He was breaking through the offensive line.
There you go. Safe.
He was just very disruptive, and he was fun to watch today.
Yeah. I think he had at least 1 sack. He had 2 batted passes in a row.
Yes.
And I thought he got great pressure.
Speaking of sacks, offense did get a score. Or no, it wasn't on the same play. The next play they scored, Shiloh got that sack. Like, he got back. He touched that guy. And the ref, like, looked it off, and let it continue. But the next play when the offense scored, they wouldn't have been in that position because that was a sack.
Yep, for sure. Tough job for the refs out there.
Yeah.
It's not always because they have to also decide, was that guy down? And I think I don't want to take anything away from Rod Ward. I think Dylan might have taken a little bit off of his speed because one ref blew the whistle when he juked past the guy and the guy kind of got his arm around him. He would not have tackled him.
That totally happened. You're exactly right.
And one ref blew the whistle, another ref's like, no, keep going. And so then Dylan, kept going. And then Rod went.
No, kudos for Rod for not stopping.
Yep. Yes,
but Dylan did let up in that process.
Yep.
Bishop Thomas was phenomenal today as well.
See, that's who I was going with.
This is who I was going with as well. Bishop, on a day where I felt energy was a precious resource, not everyone had a lot of it. Bishop had a plenty of it.
Yes.
And that's why he was going to be my guy. He not only made memorable plays on defense, his energy on defense, his vocal after the play, going back to the sideline, running off the field, running on. I think it exhibited some leadership qualities just beyond making the tackle. He was that guy today.
Yeah, he was. And so I guess if you're getting Bishop, I'll take Cam.
Another good one.
Cam had a couple big pops. He had one on Zay Weaver on a screen that Zay would have been hurting.
Yes.
If Cam, didn't kind of let up on him a little bit. And then I can't remember which running back it was, but he got one running back good coming through the line.
Tell you what, speaking of players of the game, offense and defense, Bishop Thomas got a nice one on Dylan Edwards, and Dylan just got right up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Both of those guys, big days, and both of those guys brought a lot of energy. And Cam, again, another guy who really brings the energy. He's like he's not like your rah-rah, like I'm going to give a speech type of guy, but he is very loud and vocal, and he's screaming, and he's just like, let's go.
Totally
and,
agree.
The whole guys, the whole group can feed off of that.
Yeah.
So let me hit you guys with this.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Keep
Go ahead.
coming.
Well, I was just going to say, he's like vocal in terms of like he's telling guys where to go, like shouting stuff off on the shouting stuff out on the offense. I mean, he's really conveying what he's processing in terms of what
You
he
see
sees.
that a lot from Cam and Shiloh.
Yeah.
Like, they are the extensions of Charles Kelly out there. They know it and can physically do it and are not shy about making sure people are in the right place and getting on people when they're not in the right place. What I was going to ask you guys, you saw it, scrimmage, 2 weeks away from TCU. What are things you want to see cleaned up across the board, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams?
Yeah, it was really interesting because I've, for a while now, talked about how I think there's only two things, maybe three things that can stop this team. One is penalties. Two is not protecting Shador. And three is not stopping the run. Stopping the run wasn't really an issue today. Dylan had, the big pop. There's a couple other good runs, but I thought it was pretty even. A lot of good runs, a lot of good stops. The protection wasn't great today. And I actually, if we were doing like coach of the day, might give it to Charles Kelly because I thought he dialed up some really great pressures and was certainly not afraid to, send a bunch of guys today. And it created a lot of issues for the offense. But that one was probably number one for me. It was just, hey, let's if you protect Shador, Coach Prime's been saying it all off season.
Yeah.
If you protect him, we're going to be all right. Got to do a little better job of protecting him. And then, we talked a little bit about the penalties, but, those need cleaning up as well.
Yep.
Totally agree.
Same thing, offensive line. We've been talking to Coach O'Boyle earlier in the week. He said when he was asked about if he has a starting five, he kind of said not yet. He's got 6 or 7. So it's still just trying to work out exactly who's going to be out there. Shador did make some plays just running around, though. So he showed his athleticism a lot today.
Yes. Yeah.
He was forced to. But he looked great when he had to. He had one of his best throws of the day when he was rolling out to the right as well. So,
and defenders hate when you credit a quarterback with a rushing touchdown because they can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But I think he actually had a legitimate about 20-yard touchdown run.
He absolutely did.
Yeah.
I was on the sideline and made note of that because there are a lot of times in practice when Shador will break one and you say to yourself, okay, real game, that would have been about an 8-yard run, you know. But today, that legit was a 20 to 25-yard touchdown run that even in a real game they wouldn't have gotten to him because the defense had all shifted to the other hash, and he took it the other way, and they was thinking he's throwing. And he took, and you know, you really got to see the guy's got speed.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you never want your quarterback like running downfield like that, but there was nobody around him.
If this was a real game, he would have ran for like 75 yards.
Yeah, yeah. And that was your classic. The touchdown was your classic man coverage, and in this case, the offensive line actually did protect him for a minute. And so what happened is all the routes were fully developed, and it pulled everyone out of the middle of the field. And so Shedeur, you know, makes a little move in the backfield, finds a hole, takes off, boom, touchdown.
Absolutely. I mean, you just saw – I was kind of standing behind him. It just opened up, and he went, well, I'm taking this. And he accelerated all the way through to the end zone. So it was a great run.
Two more guys that I thought had a great day, both corners. One, Omarion Cooper.
Yeah.
Or Marion Cooper, sorry.
That's giving us fits, man.
He was making tackles near the line of scrimmage. He was knocking down passes. He was just – it was very evident that he has a role probably as a starting corner on this defense right now.
Yeah, you know, that was one of the ones where we went out on a little bit of a limb saying, hey, I think there were 17 days until the game when we did our depth chart. We said, you know, going to give Cormani the benefit of the doubt that he might be able to break through and take that starting job. After watching today, it might not be as much about Cormani as it is about Omarion Cooper just saying, no, young fella, this is my job right now.
Yeah.
On Cormani, though.
And I was going to say he would have been my next guy.
Yep. He looks the part in terms of his size, his length. That's how he got that nice PBU in the end zone. I think he had a fine day overall. Good day, honestly.
Yeah, I was impressed.
And when you – amen. And when you put the lenses on and say you're looking at a freshman, you forget you're looking at a freshman.
Right, exactly.
You know, but the same thing like Dylan Edwards, you forget you're looking at a freshman because they come equipped with those intangibles and they understand the playbook and they get the job done. And just as you're about to say, so you're like, man, that guy just got here. Like, what is he going to be like next year or mid-season? Like, this is just a few weeks in, and he's doing what he's doing.
Yep, and he went stride for stride with Zay Weaver on a deep ball, made a great PBU in the end zone. And that's kind of what I talk about when I talk about Cormani. It's just like, you know, when TCU lines up their two top receivers, and if you do end up having Travis, who we only saw Travis on offense today, but if you do have Travis on one, like I just believe in Cormani's natural talent to take over in a game situation, and you saw it in that situation.
But I think that's the beauty of this discussion coming off this practice, this scrimmage, with all the things this team needs to fix in 2 weeks. Here we are talking about the offense and defense. You don't even mention the Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
You know, you get 30 minutes into talking about it and go like, oh, yeah. And that's the beauty of the talent level. Now, I will say this. I think we got issues at depth. We've got a great QB1. There's a significant drop-off when you get to QB2, QB3. I think we have a great defensive line like Shane Coates. Significant drop-off when someone comes in, you know, behind him. And you can go position by position like that. But when the ones are together, there's a guy that may disappear for a game because the other side is so damn talented, you forget he's there. You know? It's like basketball. We scored 100 points, but this guy only scored 10 this night, and the next night he scored 50 because somebody else scored 10 instead. But it still gets you there. So we got talent. We just got to come together as a team. We have individual experience, but we don't have collective game day experience today, and I think that's why you saw some of the blemishes, chinks in the armor today.
And on the depth thing, what I've been saying about that, because if you looked at a sheet of paper that was like ranking, do they have depth? The answer isn't a resounding yes. But I think at individual positions, you can point out a lot of places where you're like, oh, I trust that guy, and I would also trust that guy. Perfect example, Omarion Cooper or Cormani McClain. You know, like whatever.
Or Omarion's twin brother, Omarion.
Gosh. Is it Omarion?
Yes.
I don't know why I can't get it through my head.
Keep saying Cooper.
Every single time I go to say it, you can probably hear me thinking about it, and I get it wrong still. I'm
I understand.
Sorry, I really don't.
No, I understand. I do it with Ben. I always call him Finessive.
See, I thought that was just a funny nickname.
No, I mean, that's like, because when I see the name, I think about, hey, finessing someone. And, Ben's got personality, so it just fits. But I absolutely know that's not how you say it, but I never say it the right way.
You
get the black guy's name wrong, and I get the white guy's name wrong. It's America.
We got 14 days till game day. I'm pledging to Omarion Cooper that I will have his name right every single time by the time game day comes around. We all got to get better by the time TCU comes around.
I'm just going to stick with saying Ben.
There you go.
He's only one Ben, so.
So, yeah, I mean, I think there's individual depth at a lot of positions where I'm like, it's not like if one goes down, you're screwed. But on the whole, you would like to see more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think Coach O.B. says that about his offensive line. If he had a magic wand, there's anything he wanted to be more of what he has.
Yeah.
It's not like I got a bunch of bad guys. I just need 2 of those guys because that guy's going to get tired. That guy's going to have to come out a play or 2 or something. And there's a drop-off. So that's why he's looking for that 5 to 7 I can rotate around, which means somebody's got to be able to play more than one position. Because you might be right tackle right now. Might have to go left guard in halftime. Who knows? Mm-hmm. We're going to get there. This is year 1.
Yep. Oh, yeah. You're right. Just some other guys that stood out to me. Charlie Offerdahl was popping off runs all day. Kason Wiseman, I thought his arm popped. He had probably the throw of the day, I thought, the touchdown pass to Jalen Ellis.
Yes.
Right up the seams. Again, the defender was like face guarding Jalen Ellis. And it's one of those pretty like NFL throws where it goes behind the defender right into the receiver's hands. That was my favorite throw of the day, though.
Yeah, and if I was picking like a don't sleep on this guy in the future player of the day, that would be Asad Wasim.
Yes.
He had a touchdown. He had the first touchdown of the day on like a nice little concept.
That's a good pick.
And he is very clearly Kason Wiseman's favorite target with running with that group right now. So I was impressed with him, and I think he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Just one more. Israel Solomon.
Yeah.
He was – you knew when he was out there.
That is not a walk-on quality player. Not anything against walk-ons, but that guy covers like a scholarship corner.
Yep, for sure.
I'm loving this, man.
Yeah?
Because look, let's keep it real, all right? It's a bad practice.
It was.
But look how good we're making a bad practice.
Yeah.
And we're not lying. We're not, bullshitting. It's like it was a bad practice, but we got some great talent that when they perform together and it's a collective thing versus individual thing, we're going to exceed some expectations on Saturdays.
But correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't think we're trying to, for lack of a better term, polish a turd.
No, not at all. That's my point.
Yeah.
It's like I've seen better practices the past 3 weeks.
Yep.
But it was still, you see where, oh, man, if this thing comes together. Like we started off the show. Zay Weaver has 2 touchdowns if we don't have 2 penalties. Clean that. So Zay's going to be Zay. Just clean that up. You don't have to hold. The guy's fast. Shadur's going to get the ball out. Same thing with D-Mac when he jumped offside. Hey, man, no down and distance. Don't risk, when it's 3rd and 4 jumping, wait till it's 3rd and 12 and do that.
Yep.
Clean those little things up, man. We're moving.
And that was my approach to this practice, from the start. I want to come away with, hey, am I confirming what I think I've seen about that guy? Who are the guys that we don't necessarily always get to see on well off that pop out? An Asad Wasim is a perfect example. So for me, I was never coming into this being like, I got to score it out. And, did they win or did they lose today? To me, it's just like, I want to see these guys. So,
but speaking of, who won?
The defense.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yep. And to me, we talked a little bit about it earlier. I think it was an energy thing. I think the defense brought more energy than the offense. And, it gave them the extra boost that they needed to win this day.
I'll accept that, and I will add to it, victory will defeat you. Bane told that to Batman. The offense has been running over these guys for 2 weeks now. And I bet you they went to bed last night and woke up and said, man, we got this.
Yeah.
And the defense was like, you know what? Not today. And it didn't happen. The defense, in my mind, clearly won. It wasn't close.
Oh, it wasn't. And that is a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, you want to see the defense counterpunch and get one back. And, defense is always going to be – I think defense is usually the more energetic side of the ball.
Yeah.
And so if the offense comes out a little flat – and the defense says, here's our opportunity. Let's pounce, and keep bringing it and steal this day. And that's what they did.
They stole it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Man, there's got to be more. I thought D-Mac had some nice pass rushes.
Oh, he
did,
had
yeah.
one play where he was in the backfield instantly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that's what fueled the offsides. You know, victory again defeated you. Like, I got some success at it. I'm going. No, watch the ball. Like, you still got to have the eye discipline, use your technique, trust your speed. You don't have to rush it.
Yep.
Rod Ward made some other plays aside from running down Dylan Edwards. Who's the other one? Demoy.
Oh, yeah,
Flashed
he
some
had
of the
some
speed
plays.
a little bit.
Sure.
He also got into the backfield and popped someone. So overall, man, my big thing that I'm leaving here today with is the talent. It's so evident. And we've talked about it so much that you almost start to take it for granted. But being out there and seeing it, you know, compared to, let me just think of, you know, like watching last year's team in the spring game, which is essentially the same thing, right? You get to watch a practice.
Yeah.
It is night and day.
Yes.
It is.
It is
sure.
night and day. And I know everyone knows that, but it's just nice to go down there and sit down and see it with your own eyes. This team is exponentially more talented than the team before them. And, you know, if there's anyone you trust, it's this coaching staff to make sure that all these little things that we're talking about and energy
Agreed.
and all that gets fixed and is ready for TCU. And I am not at all worried about them coming out flat against
Agreed.
TCU.
Yep.
I have always echoed Coach Prime in the regard of I'm not going there talking about win this game, going through the season. But I will say this. We're going to pick up a few wins. I'm not going to number them just because of the superiority of the quarterback we have now. We're going to pick up a few wins just because of the overall talent of the defensive line we have now. We're going to pick up a few wins because of the increased game prep experience of the coaching staff. This is going to be a much better team than last year.
Oh, unquestionably. This time last year is when I saw the team for the first time.
Yeah.
And, I mean, of course, you play against yourself. Someone's going to make some plays,
Yeah.
and you're going to see some stuff. But, man, they're so much more athletic. They're so much faster. The quarterback's so much better. This team is just, in all aspects, coaching, everything, better.
We just got to get some game experience. So I say bring on September 2nd, man.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Last thing from here, Zay Weaver is going to end up on SportsCenter top 10 this year.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's got an insane catch radius.
His body control's amazing.
Yep.
I'll go a step further. We will have 4 receivers on SportsCenter's top 10 this season.
Oh, you know what? It wouldn't surprise me at all. Coach Prime is going to have ESPN's attention, and
You just named us one, right, Zay?
Oh yeah,
Did you see number 4 today, Javon?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Those hands, that size,
Yep.
you know Travis is going to end up there.
Oh yeah,
Jimmy Horn is too.
he is. There you go. We're gonna have to keep track of that.
Yeah, Jimmy
Yes.
Horn. Those 4 guys are going to make a play this season that gets them in sports in the top 10.
Can't
Love it.
wait, man. Dylan maybe too, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's
crazy.
I was just going receivers playing.
Sure.
But yeah,
Dylan's-
absolutely.
He's splitting out there, catching football. So.
Absolutely he will.
All right. Is that it?
I feel like we did a good job with our energy.
I think so, too.
We'll
Yeah.
take that. We'll take that and move on to the next one. I'm going to be gone
Yeah,
for a
see
while,
you, man.
so I will miss all of you, including you two, Alyssa, everyone, very dearly. But I'll be twerking,
Yep.
and then
We'll
I'll
be
come
working.
back,
Yep.
and then I'll be working,
Unc and I will be.
and I still won't be back, and then I'll be back working with you guys.
So someday you'll be back in Colorado, is what you're saying.
Yep. We'll be a lot closer to the season the next time you see
Well,
me.
safe travels, and we will miss you, but we won't miss you during the shows because
Oh.
you're just going to be the receiving end of all the jokes
Yep.
because you're not here to defend yourself.
I should just not watch. I was probably going to watch.
Wow.
I should probably just not watch. I'll have too much FOMO. I'll be like trying to defend myself. I'll be
Yeah.
texting you guys like,
Yeah.
"Hey, whoa, that wasn't fair."
You're going to take all these hits in your absence.
Stay tuned. Unc and I will be back all next week at practice. I'm thinking you'll be down at least once for a show, right?
Let's call it twice.
All right.
We might even get 3 in.
Ooh.
Hell yeah. Let's make it happen. All right. We'll see you guys next week.